கல்யாணம் ஆனோன்னா அப்பா ஆனாதான் ஆம்பளைன்னு அர்த்தம்.
வேலைக்கு போறவங்கன்னா அப்படி இப்படித்தான் இருப்பாங்க. அதான் உங்க தம்பி சொல்றாருல.
சித்தியை பத்தி ஒரு அவசியம் தெரியும். கல்யாணமான ஆம்பளைங்களுக்கு ஒரு ரூல், பொம்பளைங்களுக்கு ஒரு ரூல்.
ஆசையெல்லாம் இருக்கலாம், அது கூட இருக்கிறவங்களுக்கு கஷ்டமா இருக்க கூடாதுல்ல.
Hello, I'm Manushree.
And I'm Nawina.
And today we are going to be reviewing Sivaranjaniyum Innum Sila Pengalum. It's a new movie just released, written by director Vasant, and it's an anthology. We haven't reviewed an anthology in a long time. It has 3 short stories, and I'm going to try to pronounce all these names correctly. Our first story is called Vimochanam, and it's written by, or like it's a movie based off of a short story written by a famous writer Ashoka Mitran. And then we have our second movie, Devaki Chittin Diary, which is written by writer Jaya Mohan. And then we have Ortam, which is written by director Adhikaalai. So these are all 3 differing stories, but they all have one thing in common, and that is about women's struggles within society, financially, socially, and just with tradition. So we are learning about that. So let's go ahead and start with the first one. It's based in the 1980s.
So the first movie is about a wife who is a husband and a wife, and the wife is very recessive, and it's that classic relationship where she does all the work and the man is like just immediately put above her for no reason. Yeah, and I guess one thing that was a little confusing and not great about this one is that the male actor, the guy who acted as the husband,
is played by Karunakaran, who is a famous comedy actor.
And so he had a serious role.
I've seen him in like a lot of movies, and I love him as an actor, as a comedy actor, but seeing him in a male, like, you know, in such a dominant male position and just a very, very sexist man, I was watching it and I do think that, I mean, he had a believable role, but because of how famous he is comedy-wise, it was hard to believe. He did really good in his character. I mean, when an actor acts so well that you hate them instantly, then yeah, he did really well. So his character was so hateable. I mean, I think every woman watching this movie is going to, you know, not like that character.
This whole scenario reminded us of an American actor named Kevin Hart, and we recently reviewed one of his one of his movies, and he played a serious role, but he's like a comedian kind of actor. He has a lot of humor.
He's a stand-up comedian.
Yeah,
and so
he is a stand-up comedian, but he's actually warming up into more serious roles, and he's in like 2 or 3 movies now, so it's easier to accept.
It was incredibly believable.
Because he's really good.
Kevin Hart's acting, and I'm not saying Karunakaran's was not believable. It was believable. It's just, you know,
it's gonna take some time.
It's gonna take some time to get used to it. But again, the movie is really about a very dominant male and a very submissive female, and obviously she is like that just because that's how she's been raised. You know, she's been raised to you know, do house chores and bear children. That's really how it is. This is based in the 1980s, so I'm gonna go ahead and say this movie was really difficult for me to watch, like the short story, because I know we're trying to convey like things are better now, but for us to show things are better, we have to show how bad they were. And so I have seen countless scenes of like husbands abusing their wives and everything. And though it's a thing that still goes on, I do think that it's a lot. Like in this movie, it's painful to watch because you have a woman who is clearly struggling and has a child, a newborn child, and this man who is being so disrespectful to her, and the one time she speaks back to him, he hits her. And obviously, again, 1980s, I mean, there's still several places like that now in India, but it's getting better, you know? So it's kind of showing, oh, you know, wow, you really have improved. So I do think when you're watching that movie, just make sure, just understand that there are some scenes that are a little difficult to watch, but they have to be there in order for the director to convey how important it is and how far women have come. So I'd like to take the second movie. Second movie is called Devaki Chittin Diary. It's written by writer Jaya Mohan, and this actually stars the actress Parvati, and so she's actually showed up in a lot of movies, like for example Charlie, that movie, you know, or it's Charlie, right? Charlie, the old movie, but she's a good actress, and so she really lives up to this role. So she's basically an aunt, and you know, she's referred to as Chitti and everything, and so she keeps a diary that she writes in, and she lives in a very orthodox family. Like the family, it's her husband's family, so she lives with them, her in-laws, and they're incredibly orthodox, and they don't believe that women should be allowed to have thoughts for themselves. And so I have been a keeper of diaries since I was young. And so
Not really diaries, more journals.
you know, journals and diaries. And so, you know, I'm a creative writer. That's how I express myself, through writing, obviously through speaking as well. But writing is a really big way in how I express myself. So when I was watching this movie, I found it absolutely unbelievable to see, you know, that women were not even allowed to write and express themselves. And it made me think, you know, I've done a lot of confessional writing, you know, things I'm feeling inside. And so to know that there are families out there that wouldn't accept how I write, and obviously I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm writing is something that's my own type of talent and my own thing. So I do think that this movie was very much, it's actually a concept I've not seen before in a movie. So it was really about like that, how, you know, she kept a diary and everything. But that movie was not boring in any way. It was engaging throughout. Again, really hard for me to watch because this is something as like writing that's just everyone does. Something like that being restricted was just hard for me to watch. But
Basically, she kept the diary, and these people took, like, they were like, you have a diary, that's not allowed. We want to know what secrets you're keeping. So then she's forced someone, like, she tries not to let them read the diary, but in the end they force it from her and they read it out loud. And
exactly
what she does, can I say it?
Yeah.
She goes upstairs, rips out the pages, burns them all, and leaves the house like forever, which is great.
Yeah, and it's just as if, you know, they have to know what she wrote in the diary, and that's what was really frustrating to me. You know, they don't have to know that sort of thing. So it was very much like that, but it was a different concept. Really good movie though. I really enjoyed that one. The third one.
Yeah.
This one is called Autumn, and it's written by writer Adhikaalai. And so this one is actually a trope I've seen in several movies. It's about a woman who tries to pursue her athletic career. In this case, it's running, and she is stopped immediately because her parents want to marry her off. So we have that sort of thing, and she obviously has a lot of struggle with that. So that's why it's called Autumn. She runs. So basically, she's swapped her athletic glory to become a housewife.
She just becomes the wife against her will. No one ever asks her if she's okay with it. They just push her into it, and she gets married.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, a lot of the movie is when she has a family. She's living with her mother-in-law, and she has this kid. And it shows how hectic her life is and how she doesn't have time for herself. And there, you could talk about like how all the shots and everything. Each shot was like 5 minutes long. They were just straight shots.
I noticed several tracking shots in this movie, and again, tracking shots are like
there's also like not any music.
It's not shaky camera. Actually, you know what? One quick thing I should say about the first movie and the second movie.
I think the first movie was like an artistic thing though. What they did with the shake. No, what I'm saying is, in the first movie, going back, they shook the camera and had dark lighting whenever the husband was there.
Oh no, the lighting I
When the husband left, the camera was still and the lighting was lighter, and that has to be symbolism.
There's actually a lot of symbolism in the first movie. There's like a chair that the
I think it
husband
has
sits
to do
in,
something with that.
and it's empty. And I don't know. It's just you can see the difference between camera steadiness. So the first one, it's incredibly shaky, very much like reality TV show.
I mean,
kind
it
of
changes
thing.
though, so I feel like that was on purpose.
Third movie though,
Or
good
maybe
steady
not,
shots,
maybe-
good
maybe-
tracking shots. We have some really cool stuff like she's traveling in the kitchen and then immediately to the hall. Like it's just really cool. Like to the kitchen, to the hall, back to the kitchen.
And
doing
it's just
chores.
silence. It's
It
like,
is-
okay.
It is so cool.
Alright.
I think the tracking shots for that are really cool. And she actually tries to go back to her village by lying to her husband to relive her glory days and to get a trophy.
Okay, so here's the thing. She doesn't lie. Everyone just assumes she's going to visit her parents because that's where they live. But really, she just wants to see this trophy she won from when she was running. Yeah.
My favorite scene though in that movie is probably one of the most symbolic scenes I've seen in a movie. But you know, she hasn't run in a long time, and so her daughter leaves her lunch at home, and so to get it back to her, she runs after the bus, and she's like lives the glory of when she used to run. I thought that was what are you doing? I thought that was really cool. How she just ran and got to the bus, and actually all the movies just kind of end like that. You don't think they end, but they just kind of end. It's not abrupt. It's actually a good ending. So you know, she runs and she's like, "Wow, you know, I just did that."
And everyone on the bus claps for her.
It's a really cool. It's a cool movie.
And
But,
she's
yeah.
running in her nightie the entire time.
Okay, all right. Anyway, all three movies were really well done. Good anthology movies. And I think that's a good thing where we're kind of shedding some light. And we have a few famous actors, people we know. But I do think really well. Cinematography for all of them. Like I said, tracking shot stuff in the last movie. That's really well done.
And there was like no music. If I'm being honest, there's Ilayaraja. was the music director, and there was like no music, and that has to mean something. I mean, the third movie literally had no music.
The first movie was just crickets.
It was just, yeah, and apparently crickets are very musical. So I'm just gonna, but it's from the mastermind of music himself. So I'm just gonna accept it because you know.
Lighting wise and everything, we had dark tones in the first movie to convey gloominess, loneliness, isolation.
It's an archetype. It is what we call an archetype.
Okay, gosh.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Nawina is taking English, so she gets archetypes.
I did that last year.
I'm taking film, so I'll take tracking shots. But yeah. Anyway, both of us have some sort of knowledge in both of this stuff, you know. So we're just kind of showing that. Yeah, anyway, I think I like this movie a lot. I would give it an 8 or a 9 out of 10. We haven't discussed this, by the way, so let's see what Nawina says.
How about a... I don't know. I don't know.
What are you saying? 8 or 9?
I don't. I'll be honest, I don't care.
I'll give it a 9.
8 and a half.
I'm gonna give it, no, today I'm deciding. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Because the movie was really, really well done. All aspects were really, really well done.
Like an egg.
It was long. I mean, not be quiet. It was long, but it was good. It was a nice way to spend a night watching a movie. So I thought it was really good. Definitely watch it. It's something that younger generations need to watch. Older generations need to watch. Men need to watch. Women need to watch. Everyone needs to watch. Honestly, this is my opinion. I'm sounding like a politician. Anyway, really good. 9 out of 10. We recommend you watch it. And good job, director. Really, really good job. I like this consolidation of stories, and I want to see more anthologies. They're just nice ways to convey lots of feelings. Now you say something.
I guess the reason we like anthologies so much is that they're short stories, and we don't have to commit to a 3-hour movie and worry about how it's gonna be good or not.
That's true.
What? What? Okay. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Daddy, if you do that one more time, I swear to God, I'm going to kill you.
You're like one of those airplane people. Hurry up.
Go do some freaking Pilates or something.